Hello fellow members of the Midnight Society, welcome back to another episode review from the show Are You Afraid of the Dark? Last time, we covered The Tale of the Unexpected Visitor, a kiki story about a couple of young musicians who accidentally contact aliens. Tonight's narrative, from Betty Ann, is about a girl who gets bit by a lizard at a pet store only to find out it has some serious side effects. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this Season 5, Episode 10, The Tale of the Chameleons. We open on the gang arriving at the campfire to find what appears to be a covered bird cage sitting on the storyteller's seat. Tucker goes to peek inside it when Betty Ann comes back from having ventured off to seemingly collect some firewood.
Don't! You'll scare him.
What is it?
It's Spike, my new pet.
Everyone is very curious about what kind of pet Spike is, but Betty Ann isn't telling. Although, there is one way she might just tip her hand.
The Tale of the Chameleons.
Now, yes, that seems pretty on the nose, and if it were anyone else, I would say there's definitely a chameleon in that cage, but the thing you gotta remember about Betty Ann is that she's tricksy. She always loves having a gag at the end of her story to freak someone else out. Not to mention that a bird cage would be a terrible thing to keep a lizard in because, well, it wouldn't. Anyway, Betty Ann gives her preamble. She says that there are many animals that we know nothing about and questions if one of those animals were to be introduced to our world, if it would adapt or play by its own rules. Okay, look, I don't want to be that guy right out the gate, but we know quite a bit about chameleons, so your premise already doesn't make sense.
Not yet.
The tale begins on a pet store. Well, a pet store from the days when they still sold dogs and cats from display cases. We see a young boy doing his absolute best Stig impression, and I gotta tell ya, he's nailing it. We meet our main character Janice and her best friend Sharon browsing the store. Wait, is that Tia and/or Tamira Mori? What? You're telling me that we have the star of the ABC Family Christmas musical The Mistletones and the host of the Dr. Seuss Baking Challenge making a rare TV appearance in their youths? Oh, man. And look, before anyone comes at me in the comments, I'm joking, okay? Jeez. I know they both got famous from Full House. Ow! Janice is there buying food for her goldfish, but sees Stig tapping on a lizard terrarium. She tells him not to bug the animals, but immediately becomes intrigued by the lizard inside. She asks what it is, and apparently Stig is an expert.
Its Latin name is Cameleo maleficus africanus. It's a chameleon.
Okay, I just want to address the controversy about this episode. Let's just get it out there, okay? When I did the poll, there was a lot of comments about this lizard not being a chameleon. But you're all wrong, all right? What are chameleons known for? Camouflaging themselves. So this is clearly a chameleon camouflaging itself as a Chinese water dragon. Yeah, I bet you all feel stupid now, don't you?
No, I'm fine.
Stig seems really eager for Janice to touch the lizard, which I have a theory about, but more on that later. He tries to convince her to touch it using an almost seductive tone.
What are you waiting for? Do it!
Sharon advises Janice against reaching into the cage, but Janice thinks the lizard is cute, resulting in...
Ow! That little snip bit me!
Does no one work at this pet store? I could see a kid screwing with the pets and getting ignored if the store is busy, but an entire terrarium getting knocked over and no one says anything? Sharon, grab that rabbit and run! No one cares!
It's probably got rabies.
As the lizard runs off, Stig taunts Janice.
Bite you once, bite you twice, a little water, pay the price.
I'm assuming the chameleons came up with that because it's really stupid. Like, seriously guys, leave the rhymes to somebody else, alright? You guys just focus on looking like water dragons or whatever. Anyway, the girls leave the pet store and Janice may or may not have paid for the fish food in her possession. They meet Janice's mom outside, who gets some grocery bags and sets them on the ground, allowing the lizard to crawl inside one. Janice has an argument with her mom about dyeing her hair, which also distracts them all from seeing the lizard climb into the bag. When they get back to Janice's house, we meet her father and find out that Sharon is staying over for the weekend. Fun fact, we've seen both of Janice's parents before. Her mom was the school nurse in The Tale of the Shiny Red Bicycle, and her dad was the dad in The Tale of the Captured Souls. You know, he was completely oblivious in Captured Souls. I wonder if he's going to be any better here.
What do you think?
Janice argues with her mother about a dress that she wants as her mother is pulling groceries out of the bags in a scene of genuine tension.
How did that happen?
First off, did the lizard intentionally break the eggs as a distraction? Because there's no way it was heavy enough to have crushed them. And second, who puts a dozen eggs down the garbage disposal? You shouldn't put any eggs or eggshells in the garbage disposal because the eggshell membranes can get wrapped around the blades, causing clogs. And yes, I did have to look that up, thank you very much. Also, there is no way all 12 eggs were broken, so not only is this lady inconsiderate about machinery, but she's also wasteful. Everyone has experienced getting some broken eggs when they open that carton at home. You throw out the broken ones, and you put the rest in the fridge. What is wrong with you? I'm on Janice's side here. She should be allowed to do whatever she wants.
I think you were right.
The lizard sneaks out of the bag while everyone is distracted. Later that night, Janice tells Sharon that she's going to buy the dress with her savings and shakes a fish bank that sounds mostly empty. Must be a dress from Temu. Sharon is apprehensive about Janice's decision. Janice says that Sharon just doesn't understand because her parents give her whatever she wants, to which Sharon replies,
It's because my parents are never home.
Okay, woo! Oh. We have at least one kid with traditional Are You Afraid of the Dark parents. you were starting to worry me there, Betty Ann. Anyway, we see the lizard sneaking up on Janice to bite her, and we get a classic horror fake-out.
Ow! It's my finger.
Before the lizard can get a second shot, Janice's mom comes in and tells the girls it's time for bed.
Good night, Jan. Good night. Good night, Mrs. Robinson.
Good night, sweetie.
What? I don't think these people know how sleepovers work. The kids don't sleep in separate rooms. That defeats the whole point of it. You might as well send your friend home if you're going to do it that way. You sleep over so you can chat and be silly until you pass out. Way to suck the fun out of it. I'm hating these parents more and more. Anyway, that night, while Janice is sleeping, the lizard climbs into her bed and bites her, resulting in...
Bite you once, bite you twice. A little water, pay the price.
Before the chameleon can douse her in water, Janice bolts, running into Sharon in the hallway. She tries to show Sharon her doppelganger, but of course, there's nothing there. She starts freaking out about what the doppelganger said to her.
Bite you once, bite you twice, little water, pay the price? That's what the kids said, and that's what the chameleon said.
Okay, so this is where my theory comes in. When I first watched the episode, I was like, why would she be freaking out over a dumb rhyme that some bratty little kid spouted off? But on my second watch, it hit me. The implication is that the kid was also a chameleon. He was trying to lure someone to the terrarium to pet the lizard so it could bite them. That's why he knew so much about them. I actually feel like I'm getting to that party late. I'm sure everyone else came to that conclusion well before I said it. Anyway, Janice tells Sharon that she thinks the chameleon bit her so that it could become her. Sharon doesn't believe her, saying,
I think you were just dreaming.
And Sharon would know a thing or two about bad dreams. She once spent the night with Bobcat Goldthwait. Okay, that sounded way dirtier than I meant it to. Janice insists that she was not dreaming, so Sharon volunteers to sleep in her room with her the rest of the night. The next morning, Janice goes into panic mode again when the skin on her stomach has become rough and discolored. Sharon tells her that it's just a rash. Janice asks Sharon if she really thinks that it was just a bad dream, and Sharon replies,
No, I think you're being stalked by an evil chameleon.
This makes Janice feel a bit better, and she goes to brush her teeth. She has a moment of hesitation when she's about to start, but we never get to find out what that would have done.
I'm going to enjoy your life. I'm learning very fast.
A couple things. Was the shower running before you came into the bathroom? Because there is no way the doppelganger snuck into that bathroom behind you and turned the shower on without you noticing. And, quick follow-up on the whole bathroom debacle, don't back up into the shower when that bitch comes at you, okay? When she makes a move, you listen to your sensei.
Sweep the leg.
Before the chameleon can murder the now reptile Janice, her mother comes in and calls the chameleon down for breakfast. At breakfast, the doppelganger makes nice with Janice's parents, telling her mother that she now agrees the dress is too risque for her and that she'll call the shop to cancel the order, when in reality she calls somewhere else and says,
I'd like to place an order.
Janice's parents leave to run some errands, and the chameleon sees Lizard Janice running around the house. She attacks Janice with a frying pan but misses. When Sharon asks what's going on, She claims that she saw a mouse and tasks Sharon with placing mouse traps around the house. The doorbell rings and Chameleon Janice gets a delivery. Sharon thinks that it's the dress, but the Chameleon denies this, though she refuses to tell Sharon what it is, which, of course, makes Sharon curious. She sneaks upstairs and sees... Okay, now I know the fun police are going to say that chameleons don't eat goldfish, but man, I thought I turned this thing... Oh, hold on. Hello? What? No, I didn't say phone police. I said fun police. But you know what? Now that I have you on the line, could you tell me, is Seymour Butts working? Well, could you check? I mean, it's very important that I speak to him right away. What are you talking about? It's absolutely a real person. Fine, send your agents. I don't care. I didn't order a pizza. I just won't answer the door. Sorry about that. Anyway, while it is true that chameleons don't eat goldfish, water dragons have been known to, and since this is a chameleon pretending to be a water dragon, this makes perfect sense. Now, while it's still pretending to be a water dragon while also pretending to be a teenage girl, I don't have an answer for.
I can't believe it.
Sharon gasps, which lures fake Janice out of the room. Sharon enters the room and uses the opportunity to check the box that was delivered. Huh. It's a little odd that a box full of chameleons would disguise themselves as water dragons when no one else is around, but who am I to judge? Janice's parents come home having bought her a dress. Not the one she wanted, mind you, but a peace offering of sorts. Lizard Janice says she loves it and really plays up the good daughter routine. Sharon comes downstairs and the chameleon asks Sharon what she was doing. Fortunately, Sharon is quick on her feet with a completely believable story.
I went to get my hairbrush.
Okay, so maybe lying isn't her thing. Janice's dad tells the doppelganger to try on the dress while everyone else is gonna make some power drinks. Power drinks? Like energy drinks? I mean, you make energy drinks just for kicks, or are you planning like a family workout? These people are weird. Are we sure the parents aren't already chameleons?
It's not the same thing, and you know it.
We cut to the kitchen where Janice's mom is further abusing her garbage disposal with a metric ton of carrot scraps. Apparently this family was in on the juicing craze of the 90s. Sharon goes to ask Janice's mom if Janice is acting weird, but she gets interrupted by the chameleon showing up to present the new dress.
Ta-da!
Wow!
Okay, that dress is pretty short. If that's the dress the parents are okay with, what dress did Janice want? Something made out of floss? Anyway, Janice's dad makes the following announcement.
Hey, let's get planting. I'm feeling really creative.
Let's get planting? I'm feeling creative? Sharon, you are way better off with absentee parents than being stuck with these two. While the parents are out of the room, the chameleon gets bitten by Lizard Janice, which causes her to go on the offensive.
Who are you? It's me. I'm Janice. Don't you recognize me?
I can't even focus on the cool eye effects because someone let their child sculpt a lizard in arts and crafts class and swapped it with the one in the prop department. What the hell is that? It's not even the right color. I've seen plastic lizards in a dollar store that look more realistic than that. Also, you had a real lizard. Could we not have had the wrangler show the actress how to just hold it for a few shots? I mean, you didn't need the lizard in every close-up. Once we saw that she had it, she could let her hand fall out of frame and we would know that she's still holding it. This may be one of the worst effects I have ever seen on the show.
There's nothing you can do.
The chameleon tells Sharon that there are thousands of chameleons walking around as water dragons, walking around as humans, with more changing every day. She then throws Janice into the garbage disposal, but before she can turn it on, Janice's dad pops in and asks the chameleon to come out of the room, giving Sharon a chance to save the day.
Janice!
The chameleon threatens Sharon with a butcher knife, but is interrupted by Janice's dad again before she can act.
Jen, we need your opinion.
I'll be right out, Dad.
Did you seriously not hear any of the screaming in the kitchen? Oh, this poor actor gets stuck playing the most oblivious dads on the show. Anyway, the chameleon is escorted into the front yard for a very serious debate.
I really think the trim needs to be a little thicker.
It doesn't. It'll fill in.
You don't trust her judgment on a dress or dyeing her hair, but you can't decide on your planter's trim without her? Wait. Oh my god, I just figured it out. This story isn't taking place on our Earth. It's taking place on an alternate Earth. Maybe the one from the Tale of the Super Specs. That's why chameleons look like water dragons and why people are acting like f***ing weirdos.
Don't be an idiot.
In the backyard, which features a well for some reason, Sharon is preparing to throw the box of chameleons into it. Chameleon Janice stops her and puts her hand in the box, which contains her family, but she doesn't notice Lizard Janice inside, who bites her for the second time, resulting in... Quick question. Why is real Janice wearing the dress that was just given to Chameleon Janice a short bit ago? Janice was in her pajamas when she was changed, and should be in her pajamas now. Now, I suppose one could make the argument that, well, she's a chameleon, and that's what chameleons do, based on what the chameleon did. But I would say that's an active choice. That chameleon was trying to assume Janice's identity, and so it intentionally looked like her. Why would Janice, if she had that ability, want to look like the chameleon now, knowing that would create some confusion? And I don't even buy into that logic. She was a girl that was turned into a chameleon. She's not a real chameleon, and right now she's turning back into a real girl, so she should just look as she did when she was turned. Now, I realize why it was done this way, to create this artificial problem. But even then, I mean, Sharon knows which one is the chameleon to start. They're not moving that fast. If she just keeps her eyes on the chameleon, she would know which one is which when they separate. But apparently Sharon is legally blind.
Janice! I don't know which one is you!
The two Janices try to convince Sharon that they are the real one, but I don't see the issue here. Spray them both. Only the chameleon should turn into a chameleon, according to the rules that this episode has set up. Since this time it was Janice who bit her twice, not the other way around. But that is neither here nor there, I guess. What's funny about this scene, though, is the acting is amazing and easily reveals who the real Janice is. One of them is delivering their lines with desperation, which is clearly the real one, while the other is speaking with the slight smile of a master con artist. Anyway, one of the Janices makes a big move that helps Sharon make up her mind.
Only the real Janice would do this.
Sharon shoots the other Janice, turning her into a lizard, and throws her into the well. The supposed real Janice and Sharon hug, but before they head off, we get a clue about what really might be going on here. And if that didn't give away the ending, the reveal happens almost immediately. That night, Janice returns to the well and retrieves the bucket, revealing the other chameleons inside it. Well, except for one of them.
Oh, I see we left our little friend down there. I hope she knows how to swim.
Back at the Midnight Society, everyone wants to meet Spike, and Tucker is convinced that it's going to be a chameleon. Sam asks if he's worried that it will bite him, to which Tucker says,
Nah, chameleons don't bite.
Classic Betty Ann. But also, there's no way you were keeping a tiny snake in a birdcage. This show sometimes. Anyway, with everyone else running off, Betty Ann puts out the fire, ending the episode.
Just wait till they see you when you grow up.
Now for the review. This episode is a fun one. It has a great concept and acting, but is let down by some of the smaller details like lore, reptile accuracy, scares, and props. Well, one prop in particular.
Go ahead and tell them. They'll think you're crazy.
The settings may just be the most boring yet. We opened on a pet store, which could have been a cool new setting to have some creepy fun with, but we got out of there as quick as possible. The rest of the episode just takes place in Janice's house, mostly during the day, and there's nothing really memorable about it.
How many times do we have to go through this?
The story. There are a couple of issues with the story, and one of them is just the premise itself. Chameleons are well known and studied by humans. If the episode would have come up with a fake lizard, and it was labeled as a rare exotic species in the pet store, it would have lent itself more to what Betty Ann said at the start. Also, then it wouldn't matter what lizard you used as a stand-in for the fake lizard species in the episode. Now, you might say, but chameleons are known for their camouflage abilities. Well, sure, but the episode barely addresses their color-changing properties with a throwaway line, and it certainly doesn't provide any information about these chameleons. This episode needed that scene of Janice or Sharon doing some research and finding an article or something about this species and its known abilities that might lend some credibility to what it's doing in the story, or how to stop it for that matter. I also would have loved the kid from the beginning to show up at the end to aid the chameleon, but I mean, if I'm being perfectly honest, that's just to confirm my theory that he is one of them.
What a strange kid.
The scares. There aren't really any scares in this episode. I mean, sure, there's some moments of tension when the chameleon is stalking Janice to bite her, but nothing really scary. The lizard effects on Tia's eyes are really cool and effective, but they're also in the same shot as the worst fake lizard I've ever seen, so... 15-year-old me also wouldn't have found this one scary, but mainly because he would have been too busy crushing on the Mori sisters.
They're gonna be ticked.
The acting in this episode was great. The obnoxious kid from the beginning was blink and you miss him, but he served his purpose and I really did hate him. Sharon was great as the best friend. I thought she was fantastic in The Tale of the Final Wish, and she has not lost a step here. Janice and the chameleon were excellent. Admittedly, the episode mostly features Tia, with Tamira only appearing in scenes where both are on screen together, but it was a great performance either way. As Janice, Tia really plays up the fear and desperation, while as the chameleon, she has a devilish demeanor that makes her a great villain. The adult acting was there. Both parents are seasoned Are You Afraid of the Dark vets, but I can't tell if their bizarre characters had thrown off my judgment because I thought the mom was good in The Tale of the Shiny Red Bicycle, and while I didn't care for the dad in The Tale of the Captured Souls, I didn't particularly care for either's acting here.
I told you it was just a phase.
Betty Ann, while not your strongest work, you know I'm a sucker for a dark twist ending, so The Tale of the Chameleons meets the approval of the Midnight Society. The Midnight Society members poll on this one was, at the time of recording this video, 80% in favor of with 20% against, so my ruling stands and Betty Ann remains the People's Storyteller Champion.
Come over and see.
Thank you to my patrons financially supporting the channel on Patreon. Jimmy Purcell, Rick Maxwell, Sean Hart, Jay Booth, Tony Ebers, Jessica Tim, EC, JR Green, Emilio Flores, and AJN. I would never throw any of you into a well. Unless, I really had to. Or just felt like it. Anyway, if you want early access to videos and bonus behind-the-scenes content, you can join my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Check it out at patreon.com/jackofallnerds.
Let's get one. No thanks. I'll stick with my fish.
I want to thank the following Midnight Society members for participating in this video's poll. Ow, something just bit me. Ow, it bit me again. Bite you once, bite you twice. Pumpkin spice, it tastes real nice. What was that? Just a little rhyme I came up with. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, pumpkin spice is delicious, especially around this time of year. You want to go grab some pie? Do I? Wait, is this some kind of a trick to turn me into a water dragon? A chameleon? Of course not. Alright, well then, lead the way. Names are on the screen. Hey, where did you get these pies from anyway? You just keep them out in the woods? Oh, don't you worry about that. Just eat up. You'll thank me. Oh, Oh, you aren't kidding. This is... Wait, what's going on? Oh, you son of a bitch! What did you all think of Betty Ann's story? Did you see it as a kid? How frequently do you abuse your garbage disposal? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out the next episode on The Tale of the Vacant Lot. Until then, are you afraid of the dark?
Hey, let's get planting. I'm feeling really creative.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you find yourself thinking, hey, you didn't pronounce the Mori sisters' last name correctly, well, before you say anything in the comments, maybe you should watch some interviews with them because you'll see that's how they pronounce it, so that's how I did. Happy Halloween!